Hey, Boss Economics fam. Welcome back to the channel where we roast the economic idiocy that's turning your hard-earned dollars into pocket lint. I'm your host, the Boss Economist, and today we're talking about Donald Trump's latest brainwave, slapping a whopping 50% tariff on copper imports, including the semi-finished stuff that powers everything from your iPhone to Uncle Sam's tanks. Yeah, you heard that right, starting August 1st, 2025, if this madness goes through, we're looking at a policy that's less America first and more America fried. Picture this: Trump, the self-proclaimed tariff king, wants to bolster the U.S. copper supply chain by taxing the hell out of imports. Sounds patriotic, right? Wrong. It's a recipe for inflation, supply chain chaos, and a deeper recession that's already got the economy wheezing like an old pickup truck. We'll break it down from the point, the immediate tariff hit, to the surface, the systemic failures in government management that are driving us off an economic cliff. And trust me, I've got the freshest data and examples to prove why this is not just dumb, it's dangerously delusional. If you're a regular Joe watching your grocery bills skyrocket or a finance pro hedging against volatility, stick around. This could be the spark that ignites the next market meltdown. First off, let's zoom in on the incident itself. According to insiders spilling the beans, Trump's tariffs aren't just targeting refined copper, that pure, shiny metal with over 99.993% content. Nope, they're expanding to semi-finished products like wires, sheets, tubes, and plates. These are the building blocks for power grids, military hardware, data centers, consumer electronics, cars, construction, you name it. The U.S. imported a staggering 908,000 metric tons of refined copper in 2024 alone, per U.S. Census Bureau data, and on top of that, an estimated 800,000 tons of semi-fabricated goodies, according to Markets consultancy. That's not pocket change, it's the lifeblood of industries that keep America running. Copper prices on the COMEX in New York jumped 1.3% in early Asia trading just on the rumor, instant volatility. But here's the satire-worthy kicker: Trump claims this will strengthen domestic mining, refining, processing, recycling, and manufacturing. Sure, Donnie, because nothing says economic boost like jacking up costs for everyone from Southwire Company, North America's biggest fabricator, supplying wires to U.S. military bases and naval ships, to the mom-and-pop electrician wiring your house. Southwire hasn't commented yet, but I bet their execs are popping antacids like candy. Now, let's expand from this point to the surface-level economic disasters. Starting close to home, these tariffs will hammer U.S. fabricators who rely on imports because, shocker, domestic production can't keep up. Christina Kalman from Markets nailed it: the local fabricators will not be able to produce 800,000 tons more semi-products with current capacity, and it could take up to 7 years to install new capacity. 7 years. That's longer than some presidencies. In the meantime, costs soar. Wire rod mills, which turn imported copper into usable products, will see their input prices spike by 50%, passing that pain straight to consumers and businesses. Think about the ripple effects. Copper is everywhere, it's the unsung hero of the green energy transition, EVs, and AI data centers. Take Tesla, for instance. Elon Musk's empire guzzles copper for batteries and wiring. A 50% tariff could add millions to production costs, forcing price hikes on already pricey Model Ys. Or look at the military. The Copper Development Association's March 31, 2025, submission to the Commerce Department under Section 232 warns that semi-products are the key link in the U.S. military-industrial supply chain. Disrupt that, and you're not just raising costs, you're risking national security. Kalman adds that any foreign supply hiccup could cripple electricity delivery. Great plan, Trump, let's tariff our way to blackouts while China laughs all the way to the bank. But wait, it gets broader and more satirical. This isn't just about copper, it's a microcosm of how government mismanagement is fueling a serious economic recession. Remember Trump's first-term steel and aluminum tariffs in 2018? They were supposed to protect American jobs, but a 2023 Federal Reserve study found they cost U.S. manufacturers $2.7 billion annually in higher input costs, leading to 75,000 fewer jobs in downstream industries. Fast forward to now, the U.S. economy is already teetering. GDP growth slowed to 1.6% in Q1 2024, Bureau of Economic Analysis data. Inflation is stubbornly at 3.5%, CPI April 2024, and the Fed's hiking rates to combat it has pushed us toward recession territory. Add copper tariffs, and you're pouring gasoline on the fire. Let's crank up the data to make this convincing. Copper isn't some niche metal, global demand is exploding. The International Energy Agency projects that by 2030, copper demand for clean energy alone will double to 7 million tons annually, driven by EVs and renewables. The U.S. imports 80% of its copper needs, per USGS 2024 minerals report, with Chile, Canada, and Peru as top suppliers. A 50% tariff? That's not protectionism, it's economic sabotage. Spot copper prices have already surged 25% year-to-date as of May 2024, hitting $10,000 per ton, levels not seen since 2022. If tariffs kick in, analysts at Goldman Sachs predict a further 15-20% spike, translating to higher electricity bills, pricier homes, and inflated gadget costs. For finance pros in the audience, let's talk markets. This tariff talk is already juicing volatility. The iShares MSCI Global Metals and Mining Producers ETF dipped 2% on the news, while copper miners like Freeport-McMoRan spiked 3%. But long-term, it's a bearish signal. A 2024 IMF report warns that escalating trade tensions could shave 0.5% off global GDP by 2026. In the US, the National Association of Manufacturers estimates that broad tariffs like this could add $500 billion to business costs over 5 years, exacerbating the manufacturing slowdown. Now, surface-level critique, this exposes the government's utter failure in economic management. Trump's team touts this as supply chain security, but where's the investment in domestic capacity? The U.S. has underinvested in mining for decades. Domestic copper output fell 5% in 2023 to 1.2 million tons, while China's state-backed mines churn out 2.5 million tons. Instead of tariffs that punish importers, why not subsidize R&D or streamline permitting? The Biden-era Inflation Reduction Act poured $369 billion into clean energy, boosting copper recycling, but Trump's approach? Pure theater, tariffs that inflate costs without building anything. It's like fixing a leaky roof by setting the house on fire. Real-world examples abound to drive this home. Look at the auto industry. Ford and GM already face chip shortages, add copper tariffs, and EV production costs could rise 10-15%, per a 2024 Deloitte report. Ford's F-150 Lightning uses over 100 pounds of copper, tariff that, and sticker prices jump to $000-$3,000, killing demand amid a cooling EV market. Or data centers, Google's building spree for AI requires massive copper for servers and cooling. A tariff-induced shortage could delay projects, costing billions. Microsoft alone plans $100 billion in data center investments by 2028. And don't get me started on inflation's vicious cycle. The Fed's fighting to tame prices, but tariffs are imported inflation. A 2024 Peterson Institute study on Trump's proposed universal tariffs estimates they'd boost consumer prices by 2-3%, hitting low-income households hardest. We're already in recession watch. The Conference Board's leading economic index fell 0.6% in April 2024, signaling contraction ahead. Trump's tariffs? They'll accelerate it, just like his 2018 trade war added 0.3% to inflation and subtracted 0.4% from GDP. Folks, this is government malpractice at its finest, satirically so. Trump's playing checkers while the economy plays 4D chess. Instead of fostering innovation, he's erecting barriers that choke growth. For ordinary viewers, this means higher bills and job risks. For finance pros, it's time to hedge with commodities ETFs or short vulnerable sectors. What's the fix? Demand smarter policies, invest in domestic supply chains without the tariff sledgehammer. Tariffs aren't tools, they're wrecking balls. If this fired you up, smash that like button, subscribe for more economic takedowns, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Will Trump's tariffs save America or sink it? Until next time, stay boss, stay informed, and remember, in economics, the real bosses are you, not the politicians. Peace out.